Today on CityCast Nashville, whether you're planning to fly home for the holidays or itching for one last trip before the year ends, Andrea Giordano, aka B&A Cheap Flights on Instagram, has got you covered. She's sharing some amazing Thanksgiving and Christmas flight deals, both domestic and international. And y'all, prices were current as of our taping last week, but they might have shifted a bit, which just means you better hurry to snag the best deals in and out of B&A. It's Tuesday, November 4th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Andrea, welcome back to CityCast Nashville.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back.
Oh, we are so grateful to have you on because we're going to get into holiday travel. Which destinations tend to have the best deals flying out of Nashville this time of year?
I think the ones that I'm most excited about this year are the ones to Europe around Thanksgiving time. I mean, I was going in expecting that we're going to be in the $700, $800, $900 range for most cities. And I was able to find some in the 400s for Thanksgiving weekend. So it's pretty thrilling. I think some of the reason the flights are cheaper for Thanksgiving in Europe is because obviously they don't celebrate Thanksgiving when we do, or maybe not at all. And because it's an American holiday, we have all these international opportunities that the rest of the world is not forcing up those prices.
I would love to hear what we're looking at for these prices around Thanksgiving. I know can be some fluctuation between pricing, but as of taping, let's get into how much we're seeing for these deals.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll start with Thanksgiving. And because we're talking about Europe, those are the ones I'm so excited about. If you want to go to Paris, France, over Thanksgiving, round trip, it's only $458 right now.
On what airline?
It's stunning.
That's wild.
On Iceland Air, which is really our best bargain to Europe. When they moved into town, our prices dropped $200, $300, $400 in some cases to different destinations. But this is an amazing deal, even if it's not a holiday time. But the fact that it's over Thanksgiving, I think those dates are November 26th to December 4th. You know, just take a few PTO around the edges there, and you have an amazing trip for only $458.
And I do want to say, I was kind of warned, like Iceland Air is just like basic airlines, kind of like Spirit Air. I just flew for the first time on that airlines, and I thought it was amazing. I mean, I knew going in, like you got to bring your own water and, you know, pack some snacks and things unless you want to purchase them in the sky. But I thought there was so much. I was just flying economy too, and there was so much room compared to some other ones that I've flown recently. I was very happily satisfied.
Amazing. Yeah, I think when you look at long haul flights, this is, even though it's bargain, it's not bargain like it is with Spirit or Frontier or some of these other airlines. They really still are designed to go long haul, and you get a carry-on for free included. So there's so much advantage with going with an airline like Iceland Air. But again, also they're driving down prices all over. So there's a chance that even if, you know, you're not wanting to take a risk on a new airline, which I don't think is that much big of a risk, but if you don't want to take that risk, you can still fly with another airline, you know, reasonably cheap as well.
All right, where else can we go for the holidays, for Thanksgiving?
So another one I'm so excited about, where I've never been, but I'm dying to go, is Dublin, Ireland, also on Iceland Air, November 19th through 27th for only $478.
Oh my gosh, I've never been either, and I think it'd be so wonderful to spend Thanksgiving there.
I know, you could do Turkey another weekend. I mean, I would choose Dublin. I mean, that's an amazing price. Also for Europe, Stockholm, Sweden is $532, which is stunning. Brussels is $596. Iceland, if you're wanting to see the Northern Lights and a ton of snow, that's $577. And London even for $588. So there are so many good European ones for Thanksgiving. And I've got some domestic ones as well if you want me to share those.
Yes. Oh, let's hear the domestic ones.
So for domestic options for Thanksgiving, we've got a really low option of $60 round trip to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So this is great if you've got family up there, anywhere in that area, or if you just want to explore the Northeast, it's a really great option on Frontier. If you're wanting to escape some of these cold, gray, dreary days that we have going on, and just take the whole family down to Florida. You can go to Fort Lauderdale for only $85 round trip. That's for a 4-day trip. So if you don't have a ton of extra time, you can just, shoot down nonstop on Spirit.
Whoa. Okay. And then guys, I'm privy to this exclusive email that you send out to your subscribers. And I'm looking at this right now. Key West, Florida.
That's right.
You gave me that deal last year and I booked it immediately because it's really hard to fly directly to Key West. And because of you, I had the most amazing trip and the prices weren't crazy.
Amazing.
So I appreciate that. But I'm seeing that here for the holidays coming up. I love Key West.
Yeah, for the Thanksgiving, it's only $294 to Key West. And like you're saying, it's off the beaten path. We used to have this really cheap nonstop with Allegiant a long time ago. They closed it down maybe 2 or 3 years ago, which was to me a big tragedy. And one of the reasons I do what I do is because I want to keep these amazing routes going. But even with that loss, we still have a good price at $294 to Key West. And that's on American. Dates are November 25th through December 2nd.
And it's perfect, too, because you don't need a car in Key West.
Right.
Because I have in the past flown from Nashville to Miami, renting a car and then driving to Key West, which is a beautiful drive. But I certainly like to just fly directly into Key West and get on a bike and ride around the island. So
yeah, you save yourself about 6 hours each way.
Yeah, time is money, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to pivot now to Christmas in Europe. What do we have for Europe for Christmas?
Yeah, Europe around Christmas time, we have 3 options that are decently priced. Now, a lot of people do fly to Europe around Christmas because they have those amazing Christmas markets. So we don't have the big buffet like we do for Thanksgiving, but we do have 3 that I'm excited about. One is to Amsterdam on Air Canada for $662 round trip. There are a couple different date options there. And then we've got Frankfurt, Germany for $729, which of course our friend Whitney is there right now. And that's on Air Canada. And then we've got Paris, France for $894 on Air Canada. And there are a couple date options there. So those 3, and this is what I want to say about flying to Europe in general. Some people say, well, I'm not really interested in Frankfurt, Germany, but maybe, I don't know, I'll just book a ticket somewhere else for $400 more. Well, I would say, are you wanting to go kind of nearby to France or to Brussels or wherever else? Trains are so easy in Europe. So I would just find the best, cheapest, most centrally located place in Europe and then take trains around to, see whatever else you want to see.
What great advice. And there's also those like hopper planes or whatever, like Ryanair and those are really, EasyJet, which, you got to read the small print on those places, but those are so cheap too. But I highly recommend just taking the trains because they're everywhere. And that is how everybody gets around over there. And it's personally, I think it's just so romantic to take a train.
I agree.
In Europe.
I love train travel. I fell in love with it when I backpacked through Europe. And going over the land, you actually get to see so much more. And it's not an experience that we really have as much in the US.
Right. And I'm always looking to reenact Before Sunrise.
Yes. Oh, what a good movie.
I know, truly. I love it. All right. Well, that sounds amazing for a European getaway, but let's focus domestic for the holidays in December.
Yeah, everybody wants to go home for Christmas, and I don't blame you. And, one thing that's beautiful about Nashville is we are a melting pot across the entire United States and the world of people who have come to live here from somewhere else. You rarely meet someone who's local to Nashville, right? So I collected, I want to say about 20 domestic flights, maybe even more, to where they're under 200, 250, somewhere in there, all around the U.S. I put them in an email list. When you sign up for my email list at NashvilleCheapFlights.com, you get this email as a bonus of these 55 locations. And about 25 of them are for Christmas time domestically. And I just want to highlight a couple of my favorites. So I'm a former Illinoisan. I lived my first 18 years of my life in Illinois. I love some Chicago. And you can fly round trip to Chicago for only $98 nonstop on Southwest for Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve, which is just such a sweet spot. $98.
Wow. I wish you could see my face right now. That is so fun. And Chicago would have so many opportunities for a traveler during that time. Oh, that'd be neat.
That's right. And it's a great hub for anybody who lives in the Midwest, whether you're in Wisconsin or Illinois. Another one I'm excited about is Albany, New York. So if you live anywhere in upstate New York, you can fly for $78 round trip, which is wild at Christmas time on Allegiant, Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve again.
Wow. Okay. What are your thoughts, though, on traveling during that time? Because bless my little sister's heart, she and her family really do like to travel around then because we all have off work. But for the last, I'm not kidding, 4 Christmases, her flights have been messed up somehow. And they've had to pivot and just like rebook and do a totally different trip. How are we feeling going into the holidays this year as far as delays, possible rescheduling? What are you feeling?
It's always a risk, and you never know when it's going to strike, right? The couple things I would say is if you are really concerned, if you have a family who has a Christmas morning tradition that is must see, cannot be delayed, you want to give yourself a couple days of buffer time just in case something does go sideways. The other thing I would say is, traffic driving is also going to be pretty terrible that time of year. So it's just a busy time where everyone's trying to get somewhere, and you kind of have to weigh those costs and benefits. I would say, if you're really concerned about it and you're doing a vacation where you've booked lodging, you probably want to get some travel insurance that time of year just to have that peace of mind, if nothing else.
And then are there any other warm beach options for us coming up in the next couple of months?
I've got some good ones for you. I mean, again, I mentioned Fort Lauderdale for Thanksgiving, but it's also a good price around Christmas time as well. That Fort Lauderdale flight is only $96 for the holidays. So, drink a pina colada on the beach this Christmas. I mean, it'll be great. We've also got some warm destinations with Tampa, Florida is under $200. The Bahamas are around $350, which is actually a good deal any time of year. That's on Delta. St. Martin is reasonably priced. That St. Martin's usually in the 500, 600s. We're looking at 404 right now to St. Martin. So that's a good deal.
What if I have, last minute Aunt Myrtle wants to come visit me in Nashville? Which airlines are most likely to offer last minute deals or affordable fares into our city that I can call Aunt Myrtle and give her?
Yeah. It really depends on where Aunt Myrtle's coming from because the cheapest, best options are probably going to be these bargain basement type airlines like Allegiant, Sun Country, even Frontier. They have these kind of set prices and they stay low until they've kind of sold out. So that might be a good option. But we are a Southwest hub. And so probably Aunt Myrtle's going to go Southwest, if I'm guessing. And, now has these seat assignments with Southwest.
I know we've talked about this before, but are there any specific time of day or days of the week when last minute fares into BNA tend to drop?
That's a good question. I mean, I think historically you used to hear that if you book on a Tuesday or a Wednesday that you would get a cheaper price. Really, it's kind of flipped on its head. It's more so that you can find cheaper prices when you fly on certain days rather than booking on certain days. So if you tend to fly on, the best days, the cheapest days are usually Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Saturday's kind of a surprise because it's on the weekend, but most people want to fly Friday or Sunday. And so if you fly on a Saturday, you can usually get some of the best deals there. And I will say, even going back to our conversation about being delayed during the holidays, the time that you want to fly to ensure that you're not going to be delayed is early in the morning, because if you are bumped back, and it's less common because the planes have been sitting overnight at the airport, so you're probably not going to be delayed in the morning. But if you do get bumped, there's usually 1, 2, 3, 4 flights more that you can choose from to continue to fly. Whereas if you fly at the very end of the day, everything's been pushed back at that point and you have the most chance of being delayed.
Okay. So I was going to ask, are red eyes worth it? But would you recommend taking an earlier flight versus a red eye?
Yeah, red eyes for us usually are on the way back from the West Coast. We don't typically have red eyes unless they are to Europe. So our Iceland Air flight and our Aer Lingus flight, those are red eyes overnight to Europe. But It's all kind of like cost versus benefit. With the West Coast, a lot of times you can save $100, maybe even more by taking a red eye back. It just depends on if you're someone who's going to suffer for a few days because you didn't get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. I personally can sleep anywhere. And the white noise on an airplane, I have fallen asleep before takeoff before. And people are like, my friends are like, what? How can you do that? I mean, but that sound, that white noise just knocks me right out. So.
Oh, I'm the same way. I love it.
I'm very lucky in that sense. And then talking more, I think, about European vacations and things, but holiday travel can often mean long layovers. How can travelers make the most of a long layover this time of year during the holiday seasons? And any specific airports or lounges that are especially traveler friendly during this time?
Okay, for me, if a layover, sometimes I intentionally choose a layover that is more than 8 hours just so I can get out and explore that city. A great example is, well, this was by default because they changed my flight. But a great example is I just got bumped to where I had 24 hours in Istanbul on my way back from Nepal. And it was an incredible experience seeing a city that I've never been able to venture into because we had this long layover. I got to see the Hagia Sophia Mosque and I got to witness everything at sunrise and drink pomegranate juice that was freshly squeezed. I mean, idyllic opportunity that, never would have come if I didn't have this long layover. So I really say if you have more than 8 hours, you can typically get out into any city at that point. As far as airports that I like laying over in, honestly, I mean, this is not for our travelers, but Nashville has become this really great place to lay over.
I know.
It is wonderful. I love it. I don't mind the Denver airport simply because it's large enough to kind of explore and it's got all this folklore related to it and these mysterious kind of dark room theories related to the Denver airport. So if you're somebody who likes a conspiracy theory, that's a great place to lay over and learn a lot.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
There's a lot that are really great. The Tampa airport is one of my favorites to fly into. Even if it's not great for a long layover, it's just, I kind of like to linger there because it's really beautiful.
Well, so we're talking about long layovers. I have to tell you this quick story of the shortest layover, and I accidentally booked the wrong airport. So I was flying back from Europe, from Croatia, and I flew from Dubrovnik to London, London to Nashville. So cute, so easy.
I know where this is going.
As we are taking off, they were saying, next stop, Gatwick. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. There are multiple airports in London, and I had to book it from Gatwick to Heathrow, and I only had like a 3-hour window.
Oh, no.
And so I was trying to take public transit because it was going to be so expensive to take an Uber, but I had to take an Uber, which just destroyed me. At the end of a fabulous trip to have that type of panic, I made it with like 7 minutes to spare.
No. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just glad you made it. But this is a really common issue. We were talking about these cheap airlines in Europe, and most of them use Gatwick when they're flying out. So beware.
Beware. Read the fine print. Make sure you see, because I saw 3-hour layover in London. Cool. Nope. 2 different airports. Had to book it. It's terrifying, but I made it.
No.
Oh, what a way to end a trip. Well, so I have to bring up the fact that BNA, obviously, we're being celebrated now for being one of the best airports across our nation, which is so cool. However, a couple months ago, we had some issues with traffic, standstill traffic, gridlock. It was a wild time at the airport. I'm sure people heard about people getting out of their cars and walking to the terminals with their luggage because their ride shares couldn't even get close. Has your airport routine changed at all due to this mayhem that we experienced? And also, I mean, right now we're experiencing a government shutdown. What's your routine like these days?
I mean, these days, I don't think it's time to play it fast and loose. There was a trend. There was a trend about 9 months ago where everybody was sharing like how late they could arrive to an airport as a bragging point and still make the flight. I wouldn't do that now. I used to be one of those who was like, oh yeah, I never arrive more than an hour beforehand because B&A is so easy to get through, but the issue is the traffic. That's always going to be the X factor there. And so B&A has now listed on their website updated traffic around the airport, and they give you updates. And so you want to check that out. You also want to, I've added to my routine being subscribed to B&A's text messages. And so I have updates before anybody else gets them about if there's a big traffic buildup or if there's going to be a weather delay or those kind of things. They come straight to your phone.
Oh, wow. Okay. So everybody listening, definitely sign up for that. And then also, just go ahead and sign up for your mailing list. It's NashvilleCheapFlights.com.
That's
so
right.
you can get all these deals straight to your inbox. You are doing us such a service here for Nashville and our travel. I love following you on Instagram too, folks. I'm going to put that link in our show notes. It just empowers you to travel and just to get out there. And you did me such a solid. I think one of the first times you were on our show, you said that Iceland was your favorite country to travel to.
Yeah.
So I heard that and I said, I'm going to Iceland this year because we have that direct flight now. And so I went for 24 hours solo. I was confident and empowered to go, and I had the absolute best time. And it's only because you said it was your favorite country. I will be returning for longer than 24 hours.
Good.
I was on quite a little bit of a budget while I went because I was meeting friends in Rome. But it was such a great way to kind of start my vacation. And it just, again, if anyone is afraid of solo traveling, it's my favorite thing to do.
Yes,
is go by
I love
myself, right? And your
Yes.
stories and the way that you talk about solo travel on your Instagram empowered me enough to do that. And I really had such a great time. And I did even write an article about it. So folks, you can read about my experience in Iceland. But again, I have to tip my hat to you for all your tips and tricks and just getting us out there into the world.
Oh, goodness. That makes an amazing story 20 years from now. So just go for it. I really get excited when I think about that. In Iceland, by the way, this is kind of breaking news. I'm likely going to be leading a trip next year to Iceland. So, start to look out for that information because I want to take a group trip from everyone from Middle Tennessee so that we can know each other afterwards as well. But we're going to go explore that land of fire and ice.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. Exclusive. We got an exclusive from you. Well, again, how can people sign up for that? Follow you, all the things.
We have a little mailing list going of people who are interested in it. We have a couple hundred people who are saying they're interested possibly in going. So yeah, just DM me on Instagram.
Okay, great. Well, again, this has been such a great conversation. And, everybody take a deep breath as we travel over the holidays.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And if you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles.